All right, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a hump day edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock, the Veterans Orthopedic Clinic, and HUDCO Roofing, HUDCORoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. HUDCO Roofing, HUDCORoofing.com. All right, everybody. Hope your day is off to a fantastic start. Monday, Jimbo Fisher issued a pretty adamant non-denial denial. Now, he did at the end sort of say, I don't want the LSU job. Boy, what a stark contrast to Lincoln Riley yesterday, when Lincoln Riley had an opportunity to debunk the LSU convo, and he just said, guys, come on. Like, you know how I feel about this place. Haven't we been through this before? That's what he said. That, my friends, is a very, very glaring example of a non-denial denial. And I think there are some people let me rephrase. Not I think. Let's strike I think from that statement. There are some people in Norman, Oklahoma that are very nervous today that Lincoln Riley might have the long eye on the P and the G. Purple and gold. LSU to the layperson. Very much, very, very much worth watching there with old Link. All right, let's say some good mornings here. John Hilburn, Truax, good morning. Jonathan Martin, if we get Lincoln Riley, Saban may just cry. The thing I'll tell you with Lincoln is if he does end up here at LSU, got to fix the defense, man. You can't be what he has been at Oklahoma and succeed at a high level in the SEC. Got to be able to stop people. Ricky Lambert. I mean, I look at Lincoln as Lane Kiffin 10 years younger. Now, granted, 10 years ago, Lane Kiffin was much more mature and all that. So you understand my point. I just mean as a coach. Ricky Lambert, Jason Bourgeois, Ryan Amanda Guidry, Kirk Taylor, Randy Dabdoob, Jerry DeLucky, a dad, good morning, Michael Kleber. It's undeniably a non-denial denial. Indeed it is. Jason Bourgeois, if Jimbo and Lincoln Riley potential is just smoke, is there a chance Woodward could pull Peterson out of retirement? Jason, I've heard nothing about that. I know other than fans asking. Chris Peterson has been pretty adamant that he is very happy and content in retirement. And I don't know that if you're a guy who's been at Boise and the University of Washington, if you are in any way unsure of yourself, then I don't think you want to be in the pressure cooker of the SEC, man. So, especially at a place like LSU. Tim Forshey, good morning from Gulf Breeze, Florida. Great show, man. Keep it going. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate that. Ryan, Amanda Guidry, let's get this hire finalized. Well, Ryan, we're not going to find out about it until after LSU plays A&M, regardless. So you got less than 2 weeks. So today's Wednesday. I would assume 2 weeks from today we'll know. That would be the Wednesday after the A&M game. I would assume LSU will have a coach by then. Jeremy Weiss, don't know how many times. I guess I'm going to have to say it. I'd like to be the coach at Alabama. Coaches lie. But I do believe Jimbo is not going anywhere. In his mind, he firmly believes he's not going anywhere. I've told you that 100 times. But I also believe Scott will keep calling. And I do believe they're prepared to make a moonshot run at Lincoln. I think a lot of that is starting to crystallize a little bit. Jay Hernandez, good morning. Would be awesome to secure Riley. Have a young coach that can be at LSU for years to come. You know, Jay, one downside potentially, you're right, but one downside is at 38 years old, does Lincoln Riley have NFL ambition? And if he does, let's say he comes to LSU, wins, does he leave for the NFL? You know, that's one of those things where if you look at, for example, Lane Kiffin Lane's in his mid-40s, has no desire to go back to the NFL. You hire him, he could be your coach for the next 15 years. Lincoln Riley potentially could be here for 3 to 5 years, win a championship, and go to the NFL. And then you're back making another hire. I'm not saying that you make this hire based on the likelihood of having to make the next hire. I just think you hire the best coach. Let's see. Tim Gautreaux, good morning. Joey Vincent, Troy Hebert, Trivia Carter, Tree Streets, what's going on? Trivia of GMEX on Bitmart yet? Not yet. Announcement came earlier this week. That'll be before the end of this month, but trust me, it'll be soon. And you will know. Trust me, you will know when it happens. There will be no ambiguity. You will know when it happens. Michael Mills. Matt, does everyone have a real lead on what Scott is doing? I'm beyond stressed, man. You need to just stop worrying about it. I mean, I believe that there are 4 people very close to the process at LSU. Scott Woodward, Stephanie Rent, Verge Osbury, and one other very prominent person. And they know, and they're not saying much, which is why you vet things from the other side. Ghastly Gamer, what's going on? Jordy's reporting they've offered him $12 to $13 million a year. I mean, Ghastly Gamer, no disrespect to whatever, I didn't hear what he said, but I've told you for weeks, literally weeks, LSU is preparing an 8-year, $100 million offer. It's 12 and a half a year. I've said that for weeks. So, okay. Thanks for listening. Tim Gautreaux, could you give a quick recap of the type of coach denials? Sure, there is the denial, which is what Nick Saban did. I'm not going to be the Alabama coach. That's a denial. There's a non-denial where you answer the question without answering the question by talking about how much you love the place that you're at. I love it here. I have all the resources I need here. I'm the coach here. I want to be the coach here. You answer the question without actually answering the question. And then there's the non-denial, which is you don't say anything. Or you open your door to leaving. That's what Billy Napier did on AFR a few weeks ago. That's a non-denial. Let's see. Rapping Batches, what's up? Let's see. Do you think it's important, no matter who gets the LSU head coaching job, you retain certain assistants as Raymond and the wide receiver coach? With this going search, I'm leaning more on ULL. So Corey Raymond will be back. It's my understanding they've already agreed to a deal for him to be back. The Mickey Joseph most certainly will not be back. I've been told Mickey Joseph is going to Nebraska to join Scott Frost's staff, and he may not be the only one. Jake Peets may head there as well. Just keep an eye on those guys. I think Nebraska is a spot that they land, and then Brad Davis, the offensive line coach, who they just hired from Arkansas. I think he'll be back. Let's see, Tad Page, good morning, interesting times. Talk about a start to a rivalry if Lincoln relocates. Yeah. James Metvin, I think Scott will make the best hire. I agree. Josh Faust, can't begin to understand why Lincoln would leave a program like OU to come to Baton Rouge. Ain't happening. LOL, book it. Well, whenever someone's willing to pay you $12.5 million and you're currently making $7 million, that's a pretty big reason why. You're coming into the SEC anyway, and you would assume there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve there. I'm not saying there's many places he would leave for, but there are examples of coaches leaving major Power 5 jobs for what they perceive as better opportunities. Dennis Franchione left Alabama for Texas A&M because he wanted to be in the state of Texas, and A&M committed a ton of resources to him. Tommy Tuberville left Ole Miss for Auburn. There are examples of it. Jimbo Fisher left a place where he won a national championship to go to Texas A&M. Kim Mulkey left a place where she won a national championship to go to LSU. If you have an AD that's willing to pay you and give you the resources you need to win, yeah. Brian Wynn, good morning. Chase Pellegrin, good morning. Jason Souls, good morning. Christopher Merrill, good morning. Will Laverne, interesting with Riley. It's almost too much focus on him for Woodward's taste. Could be wrong. Yeah, I don't think necessarily. Kerry Hughes, do you think Scott already has a deal done? I do not, Kerry. Jonathan Martin, will you get Russ on this week? Supposed to. Tim Casalo, or Caslot, good morning. David Rabb, good morning. John Pomeroy, good morning. Jamie Honore, Staples Center changed the name to Crypto.com Center, Wave of the Future. Saw that earlier today. The place where the Lakers and the Clippers play, the Staples Center, is getting new naming rights deal with Crypto.com. Y'all still landing on crypto, man. You better start paying attention. Let's see. Jamie Hodges. Hey, Uncle Mike. Good morning. Brian Broom. Chris Andrapont. What's up, my ball? Josh Carlos. Is Napier still an option? I think he's way down the list, but I wouldn't completely rule it out. Michael Markentel. Is it probably Aranda? Again, I've heard nothing of Dave Aranda's name from no one around LSU. Only fans that bring up Aranda. A coach who's just into his second year as a head coach is generally not the kind of hire that Scott's going to make, especially if he wants to make an offensive-minded hire. So the only thing that's appealing for LSU fans about Dave Aranda is familiarity. Find any other coach in year two that's had a modicum of success and tell me that you're bullish on that guy. Like, why are you bullish on Dave Aranda and opposed to Mel Tucker? They're the same guy. They're the same guy. Actually, Tucker has a more distinguished resume than Aranda. But y'all push back against Tucker, but you embrace Aranda because of familiarity. That's the only reason. Brian Jones, Matt, do you think we swing and miss at a big hire, have to settle on someone we don't really want? I don't think that's the case, Brian. I think the you don't really want thing isn't exactly how it works. I think you vet candidates you do want, and then you prioritize them, and then you make your way down your list. Frederick, if Riley comes and wins a natty and bolts, then that would be 4 coaches with a national championship, would make the job more appealing. Listen, LSU is going to be plenty appealing. I mean, I understand your point. And to be clear, you don't make a hire based on the fear of losing somebody. I'd say the same with assistants and coordinators. Subaru, coaching aside, who's the top Brock knee specialist? I need one. They're all good. Chip Bankston did my knee surgery a couple years ago whenever I tore my meniscus. So, but they're all great. I mean, I would say call Chip Bankston. He did my knee. He was the Saints team physician who, until this season was the guy who, when someone was hurt, would run out onto the field, in the suit. Call Chip Bankston. But they're all great. Let's see. Justin Hutchinson, Matt, your man. You misused your. You did the contraction. Your is a contraction as you are. Matt, you are man crush on Lane is funny. I don't quite get it, but you do you. Appreciate, again, you've misused your again. Most reliable source of public info would be our cheers. Thank you, Justin. I appreciate it. But it's not that I have a man crush on Lane Kiffin. It's that he's an undeniably great offensive coach. Look at what he did at Alabama. Look at what he's done at Ole Miss with Matt Corral and a band of guys that really aren't going to play in the NFL side. He's a great offensive coach. I think the questions people have about maturity, et cetera, are all legitimate and might preclude him from getting the job. But as an offensive coach, how do you deny what he is as an offensive coach? I don't get it. Will Laverne, Nick Saban hired him. Has to be pretty smart, right? Will Laverne, last option in a list of 4 to 5 coaches sent S. What I've heard, Napier is somehow attached to Virginia Tech job, would be a good hire, not a splash hire. Would LSU hire a UL football coach? Man, I don't know. That's a pretty aggressive run-on sentence, Will. I think I might have gotten the gist. I'll tell you, I was told weeks ago with Napier that he'd be interested in Virginia Tech, assuming that job came open. The other one, I'll tell you, I do expect them to make him as their primary candidate is TCU. I think TCU is going to make, from what I understand, TCU is going to make Napier their number 1 choice. So Billy's going to have options, man. If it's Virginia Tech, if it's TCU, he would certainly love the LSU job. I don't know if he's going to get it, though. Hey, Dylan Landry, Gerald Mathern. Chris, I think Dabo's waiting on Saban to retire. Not at all, Chris. That's been talked about so much, and everyone that I've ever talked to close to Dabo insists he does not want to go replace Nick Saban. Chuck Sanchez, what's up, Chuck? Get it? Up, Chuck? Brian Wynn, Matt, if the choice is an offensive coach like Riley or Kiffin, who do we look for as the DC? I think you leave it to that coach to make that hire. I mean, both of them have very good defensive coordinators right now. Riley has Alex Grinch, and Kiffin hired come on, brain. Durkin, DJ Durkin. I mean, Durkin comes with some baggage. I mean, he was the coach of Maryland when the player died on the field. Got fired because of it. That's when Matt Canada became the interim head coach of Maryland, if you remember. But he's a great defensive coach. Chandler Watts, Lincoln at Baton Rouge has me skeptical due to the defensive product. I think that's fair. Timmy Martin, do you think Sean Payton is a possibility? Not at all. Kelly Gross, good morning. Jerry Johnson, what happened to the Lane Train? I don't know what happened to the Lane Train. Tommy Matthews. It's okay, Justin. Don't worry about it. But I would rather, I always say this. If I'm doing something wrong or incorrectly, I would rather someone tell me so I don't continue making that mistake. A lot of you take offense by it. You're like I saw a trivia said, oh, English teacher Matt. Wouldn't you rather know if you were doing something wrong? I would. Tell me. Please tell me so I can fix it. It's like if you're walking around with spinach in your teeth. Don't let me walk around with spinach in my teeth. Tell me I have spinach in my teeth so I can move it. You know what I mean? If I have a booger hanging out of my nose, don't let me walk around all day with a booger hanging out of my nose. Be like, hey, dude, you got a booger hanging out of your nose. Okay, thank you very much. I'd hate to walk around with a booger hanging out of my nose all day. James Vickers, they need to throw the barrel at Chris Peterson. Yeah, so it's not the barrel. It would be throw the kitchen sink at Chris Peterson. And I don't, this is the thing, I said this earlier, James, I'll say it again, man. If Chris Peterson is in any way unsure, and I've been told all along that he has no desire to coach right now, he is retired. If he is in any way unsure, then you don't want the LSU job. You want someone who is bullish on this job, that is jumping into the job feet first, not that has to be pulled into the job. Because, brother, if you have to be coaxed into taking the LSU job, that's a problem. As much of a pressure cooker as this is, man. Connor O'Neill, personal preference would be to hire an offensive guy who can develop quarterbacks. I feel like if you hire an OC that can do that, he'd eventually leave. It'd be harder to replace that than at DC. Yeah, I'm good with that. Let's see. I can see LSU ending up with Matt Mediocre Campbell. Spurs, what's up? Bubba Tatum, good morning. Kyle Milliken. Morning, Matt. Today's my first day back to the grind from vacation in Gatlinburg. So nice up there. There you go, Kyle. Welcome back. Glad you had a good time. Brad Johnson, what's up? Does Coach O coach the bowl if LSU qualifies? He will, T. They announced that whenever he was fired. If they make a bowl, he'll coach it. Bane Kiffin. I'm sure there'll be a D-line coach on staff that could be the coach after the NFL calls. Steven, good morning from Auburn. A lot of sour folks here after this weekend. There's a silver lining. Spurge, better for Lincoln to leave OU prior to the move to the SEC. I look at that one of two ways. Spurge talked about it yesterday, as a matter of fact. Is that a positive or negative? Only Lincoln Riley would know that. Would you want to leave before OU comes in, or would you say, well, I'm going to the SEC anyway. Why don't I just stay where I am? Let's see. Do you think OU would match $12 million? I do not. Brad Johnson, what's up? Rapping batches. Do you give Coach O any credit for the 2019 season? I mean, he was there. He was physically there. Joseph Armato, good morning. Matthew Vincent, if Lincoln Riley comes to LSU to give up coaching quarterbacks, brother Garrett Riley's offensive coordinator at SMU, I have no idea what he would do. Kyle Milliken, what about Mike Tomlin? I think Mike Tomlin was pretty adamant that he's not leaving the Pittsburgh Steelers. Troy Aber, Kim Mulkey went on WWL last night, said LSU should go all in on Peyton. That's great. She should say that. I would love it if they did that. And there is absolutely no shot in hell that happens. Let's see. Go Tigers. Billy G calling you out. I don't know who that is. Travis, but I'm flattered. Travis Young, Kiffin to Florida, a stretch. Is he talking about Billy Gonzalez? Like the old LSU passing game coordinator, wide receivers coach guy, Billy Gonzalez? Huh. Why would he be calling me out? Travis Young, Kiffin to Florida is a stretch. I don't know. I mean, I think Florida, if they do fire Dan Mullen, would make a pretty hard push at Billy Napier also. I think Napier is going to be a very much in-demand coach in this cycle. I mean, he's already turned down Mississippi State, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Baylor. And I think he would have taken the Baylor job. He would have taken the Baylor job, but for the sanctions. Because look at what Matt Rule inherited with those sanctions. I mean, they were 1-11 his first year. I think he would have taken the job. I know he would have taken that job. He did take that job, and then found out about the sanctions. I mean, Napier's had some amazing opportunities. He's going to have more. I think he will be the focus at TCU. I do believe he'll be in the mix at Virginia Tech. And if Florida comes open, he would take that. And I think they'd be interested. I don't know if Florida's going to come open. If they win their next two, I think they retain Dan Mullen. They have at Missouri and home against Florida State. They win those two, he's back. I think they lose those two, I think he's out. Okay, I think we're just about done, y'all. Shout out to Brock, as always, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, and Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com. Brock, of course, you need an orthopedist. You go to Brock, they're the best. Locations all over the greater Baton Rouge area, including inside the Surgical Specialty Center right there in Bluebonnet near Perkins, and Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com. Need a roof? Give us a shout. Keep telling you all this. There's a lot of people who may be on another roofing company's schedule. Maybe your adjusters come out. Maybe you even have a check from your insurance company post-IDUB. And it's like, man, you can't find anyone to do the work. Or I'm on the schedule, but they can't get to me after New Year. Holler at us. We have materials. We have labor. We can get to you way before that. For sure before Christmas. And before that, I would say. Like, give us a shout. HUDCOroofing.com. Or email me directly, matt@HUDCOroofing.com. Let's see. Kiffin in Florida would be even more annoying than Kiffin at Ole Miss. What about Mullen to LSU to Florida? Can't see that happening. There were people last hiring cycle, though, that wanted Dan Mullen. I just think he's too much of a jerk. That was the pushback last time. Okay, y'all. Gotta get on down the road. Locked on LSU coming up. AFR at 3. We'll look forward to it. Thanks so much for watching. As always, y'all have a great day. Peace.